Well, it's another week later. Here we are. Firstly, I clearly remember last week saying it might be spring. It certainly isn't. Temperature's freezing again today. Cold. I'm not gluing today, but I've taken the chance to do some bits and pieces around about the boat that I could do in this weather. Let's start off here at the aft end, because since you were last here, we've got both of the chine log and shear clamp both round to the stern post, curved around there. They went round, it wasn't easy, but they went round. Chine log was easy, nothing difficult about that at all. It's just, the angle's not difficult. The shear clamp has got quite a curve here, it's quite full there. So that was a bit harder, and Hazel and I put a hot air gun on it, which seemed to help a bit. First of all, we tied the pieces of wood in together, left them like that for a few days to just try and encourage the wood to give a bit. Then we put the hot air gun on various places, tried to bend it in. It did help, the hot air gun. I didn't steam it, we did get it in the end. But one thing that's happened is that as this has bent, it's also twisted out a little bit, particularly in this region. So what I've done is I've glued a thinner piece, it's about, about 3/8 of an inch, 10 mil, not quite, around the inside there on both sides, which will allow me to plane some off of here to get that angle back in the way it needs to be. Remember, of course, there's another 19 millimetres, another 3/4 of an inch of wood coming round here on the outside still. So the end, this will be quite thick, and I'll have enough here to be able to plane that back to the angle that I want. It shouldn't be difficult. But at the moment it's looking quite good. Went round there well enough. Say something. Around the shear clamp, I've got 2 stainless screws in each station, at least each station I'm sure. So I've used stainless, I've used 2A stainless, which is 304 grade, marine grade stainless screws for there. But on the chine log, I've used bronze screws. Where it might be under the water line, I felt happier using bronze screws. So I bought this little box of bronze screws. They're 4x45 millimetre bronze screws, quite cute, but slotty heads, of course. But they went in nicely. I haven't put in a quantity of slotty head screws for ages. We had, with the advent of electric screwdrivers, we had cross heads and now the tocks, or whatever you call them. But I started off with a screwdriver, putting them in, and for that I needed to pre-drill. And I remembered that I had some of these things that I've got in Canada, which are very nice combination drills. So I've got the drill for the screw, the drill for the shank of the screw, and the countersink all in one go. It's a nice little tool. So I pre-drilled some of them with that and put them in by hand. And then I got a bit lazy and got the old trusty electric out with a slotty bit, obviously, and actually they went in easy with the electric and a slot bit. So that was nice. So in the end, I've put in 2 screws on each station in the chine log, bronze screws, all the way around, well, as far as I could. And where it joins the stern post here, I've got 4 in there. So that's what we've done. Perhaps we could walk up to the front end, have a quick look there. Because here this is just hung in position here at the moment. It's not glued in, but I just cut the slot in the station 1 panel there. The knee at the moment, if you look here, is just hooked under a piece of wood that's clamped along the top there, and it's hanging there, and it's actually in almost exactly the right position, which is Marvellous. When the temperature's a bit warmer, I shall glue that in place. That's where it goes. So now we're seeing the full size of the boat. The front end here, we've still got to extend the chine log and shear clamp out to join here. Next week's supposed to be warmer again, so hopefully we'll get some gluing done. Get that out there, and that's the full length of the boat, which is nice. And as you can see, it fits comfortably in the shed. Look at that, 6 inches that end, 15 centimetres. The other end, a bit more, I think. Maybe a foot, 30 centimetres the other end, so nice. Going in there well. I've got to machine up some more bits of dug fir for these. But yeah, that'll be coming around there next. I've still got those floor beams that I talked about last week to go in. They must be cut to size and put in before I put the second layer, second laminate of the longitudinal members on. So that's where we are now. This week was a very exciting week because I crossed the 100 subscriber on YouTube mark and got a nice little email from YouTube saying congrats, which is great. So I'd like to say thank you to anybody who subscribed on YouTube. Thank you very much. It's marvellous. You're marvellous people. And between times, I've had a right bit of luck. Luck? Perhaps it isn't luck. Anyhow, something's happened. And I haven't watched it yet, but I'll sit down and watch this evening. I believe that SV Seeker, which is Doug and his crew there, I believe in their latest video, they must have mentioned me, at least me. I don't know if they mentioned lots of builders or just me. I say I haven't watched the video yet. But overnight, I've had quite a flood of new subscribers. So I say earlier this week, crossed the 100 subscriber mark, and now I'm up to 270 or something like that, I think, which is fantastic. I'd like to say, yeah, big thank you to Doug and his crew on SV Seeker, because I'm sure it's come from whatever they've done. Yeah, thank you very much. If you don't know the SV Seeker stuff, videos, Doug and his crew are building a large steel junk rigged boat. It's a great project. He's got quite a team working on it. It's really, the videos are good, marvellous project. I recommend highly having a look. But since most of my subscribers have come via SV Seeker, I think probably most of you know about it. Well, this week's Tony's tool tip is this little Bosch rechargeable drill, the PSB 10.8 Li. It's a lithium ion battery Bosch drill. It's really good. It's really good. The battery is tiny. Look at it, tiny. And that's the thing about these rechargeable drills. As they've advanced, the batteries have got smaller and the power has it got more? Or stayed? If you go back to the start, I remember the first rechargeable electric drill I ever saw. It was mid to late 80s. A fella come up to an agricultural building I was working on. There was no electricity there. He said, "Oh, I've got this thing," and we sort of laughed. And we had to drill a hole through some concrete blocks, and he tried to drill a hole through these blocks with it, and the battery went flat in a couple of minutes. It was useless. But now, as I say, with the march of time, they get better and better and better. And look at the tiny little battery. And for example, let me just reach behind you. My last rechargeable drill, the Metabo one I had, that's the battery for it. The size of that thing, you know. And in terms of power, they're about the same. It's amazing, isn't it? Anyhow, here we are. That's the battery for this little Bosch drill. It's a fiddle getting this into the charger. It fits in with this sort of bayonet fitting there on the end there, and it's hard to get that in at the right angle sometimes, but into the drill it's a piece of cake. As you can see, it's been used quite a lot. There's not much to tell you about it. Obviously it goes around forwards and backwards. You've got screw setting, drill setting and hammer drill setting. I use it mainly on the drill setting, to be honest. But on the screw setting, you've got adjustable torque on that wheel there, which is quite handy. 2 speeds, of course, fast and slow. Yeah, they're great, aren't they? They're a great invention. They really are. Cordless. Battery lifetime is perhaps the one issue. One thing I always do is I take it indoors in the winter. I don't leave it out at night. Clearly it's out here now, I'm using it. But as soon as I've finished, it will be indoors, because these temperatures I don't think are good for the batteries. In fact, I did kill one of these Metabo ones by leaving it out in the winter. I had to buy a new battery, and they're not cheap. And yeah, how long will the battery last? I don't know. Your guess is really as good as mine. 7 years, I reckon. You might be lucky and get longer. I don't know really, but 10 years I'll be highly surprised by. But then they're developing so quickly, the technology, that I expect in 10 years' time the batteries will be half of that size. Anyhow, lovely little tool, the Bosch PSB 10.8 Li. You could perhaps question the environmental sense of lithium ion, perhaps, although it's everywhere these days, isn't it? So we've got to deal with it sensibly. Great tool, recommend it. It's 24 hours later now, and I needed to come back and say something very, very briefly. Doug on SV Seeker, I've watched the video between times. Lovely mention, thank you very much, Doug, that is marvellous. Since you've mentioned it, my subscribers on YouTube have shot up. I'm now approaching 550, I think, as I speak, which is absolutely fantastic. Big thank you to Doug. Big thank you to all of you subscribers who've subscribed. That is utterly brilliant. A couple of things I was going to mention related to that. Perhaps I should first say that I think Doug did make one little slip up. He was talking about me, he showed my YouTube page, and as he was talking about me and my staff and SV Tapatya, he obviously clicked over to the guy he was going to talk about next, which was Sailing Yacht Zora, and he showed a bit of that YouTube page, and then he forgot, I suspect he forgot to actually mention Yacht Zora, and he went on. So Sailing Yacht Zora, I should just say a little bit here. Sailing Yacht Zora is Reese, I think he's Irish. It's a steel boat that he's bought, but it's completely stripped out, so it fulfills Doug's criteria as a rebuild or as a build. He's just started on it, I believe, getting it together. It's great videos, well worth watching, so I'll mention here, I recommend that one as well, check it out. Good. Since I've had all those new subscribers, questions have been coming in, very interesting. One question I've been asked lots of times is about the theme music to these videos. I've been messing around with music on and off, most of the time for decades now. A few years ago I started writing and recording stuff myself. I play all the instruments, I record it myself. So the song in the video, the intro to the video, actually all the music in the video is my stuff. The intro song is a song I recorded a few years ago. It's a sort of up-tempo mix of a song. The song's called Sit and Wonder. The mix is from an EP I put out called Shake a Leg. It's out on iTunes and Amazon and all those digital places. Vocals by Hazel, who's stood here holding the camera right now. Hazel's my daughter, in case that's not clear. So that's the song. Several people have asked. Sit and Wonder. It's the Shake a Leg mix off of the Shake a Leg EP by Why Not Be. Good. We'll cut there, shall we?
tears in the sunset, standing at the sea. Tell me where you're going so decisively. What's your destination? Tell me where you're bound. We can move together where adventures abound. Running free before the breeze. Are there many days such as